Most people looked at me and saw something broken. They didn't see the spirit inside me, the will to fight, to live, to love. They only saw my bent legs, the way I limped awkwardly across the grass, each step a small battle. But if they had looked closer, if they had just knelt down and met my eyes, they might have seen what she saw. She found me through a Craigslist ad. Just a photo, really. A little horse with twisted front legs and eyes that carried more pain than most people could handle. But she didn't flinch. She didn't scroll past. She drove out to meet me, and the moment we locked eyes, I knew my life had changed. Her voice was soft, her touch even softer, and when she leaned in and said, "Hey, little one," I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. My name is Martha. I was born with the most serious form of dwarfism a horse can have. The kind that usually means you won't see your first birthday. The vet said 6 months, maybe a year. But no one told my heart to stop beating. No one told me that I was supposed to give up. And she, my human, she didn't believe in expiration dates either. The day she brought me home, everything was new. The smells, the sounds, the freedom. But it was hard too. My legs jutted awkwardly from my chest, bent in painful angles that made every step feel like walking through fire. I couldn't run. I could barely walk. And yet, she knelt down beside me every day, whispering, "We're going to try, okay? Just try with me." She called in a farrier, a kind man with gentle hands and a calm presence. He studied my hooves carefully, and together, they began trimming them in a way that might help bring my legs inward. It was a slow process, painful at times, but she never left my side. She would sit cross-legged on the barn floor, pulling me into her lap like I was made of porcelain and dreams. I would feel her arms wrap around me, her heartbeat steady against my side. In those moments, everything softened. The pain, the fear, it melted away into warmth and trust. We had no guarantees. No one said this would work, but she believed in the small changes, the tiny shifts. One day, she looked at me and said, "Her legs, they look straighter, don't they?" The farrier nodded, a slow smile spreading across his face. We were doing it, together. And then came the day I started hopping. Just little jumps at first, like bunny hops. Awkward, clumsy, joyful. She laughed so hard she cried. And for the first time in my life, I ran. Not far, and not gracefully. But I ran. I felt the wind against my ears and the earth beneath my hooves. And I was flying. I was free. But what happened next was something even I didn't expect. She started taking me places. Places filled with people, with soft voices and slow footsteps. Nursing homes. She said they were full of souls who had stories like mine. Ones with pain and struggle and survival. And when I walked into those rooms, something happened. People smiled. Their hands reached out slowly, and I let them touch me. I stood still, completely still for hours, just so they could feel something real, something warm and alive. There was one woman, her hands trembling with age, who looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "I haven't smiled like this in years." And I knew. My journey wasn't just about surviving. It was about healing. Not just me, them too. They say animals can sense emotion. Maybe that's true. But I think we just remember. We remember what it feels like to be ignored, to be dismissed. We remember what it's like to hurt. And that's why I stand there quietly while they brush my coat, their fingers moving through my mane as if each strand holds a memory they don't want to lose. And then came Stacy. She was smaller than me, if you can believe that. A tiny, fragile creature, not more than a few months old. She had the same look I once did. Legs that didn't work quite right. Eyes that begged for a second chance. The moment I saw her, I felt it deep in my chest. I knew what she needed, and she knew she wasn't alone. We're a pair now, me and Stacy. She follows me around like a shadow, and I show her the things she doesn't yet know how to believe. That it's okay to fall. That love shows up in the quietest of ways. That healing isn't a straight line, but it's possible when someone believes in you. Some days, we just lie in the sun. Other days, we visit more people, spreading our quiet kind of magic. People take pictures, ask questions, and sometimes they cry. And every now and then, someone will reach down, pet my head, and say, "Thank you for what you do." But really, I'm the lucky one. I was given more time than anyone thought possible. I was given a purpose. If my story touches your heart, if you see a bit of yourself in me or Stacy or the people we visit, I ask you to share this. Talk about the ones who are overlooked, the ones who just need a chance. And if you're able, support the work we do. Every donation helps provide care, transport, and safe places for animals like us. But more than that, it helps create moments, the kind that stay with people long after we leave the room. Because sometimes the smallest horses carry the biggest lessons. And sometimes love shows up on four crooked legs.